Hello, Grab. Hi, how are you doing? Hello, Davey. Okay. How have your projects? You started doing your Rust. I'm blue? Wait, what? Am I blue? I think I'm normal color, no? I'm well, but I'm blue apparently. What do you mean? Am I like bluer than usually? Hold on. What should I do? Are you saying that I should change the color? Temperature? Is this less blue and more green? Is that what we need to do? Is that better? No, it should have been the same as yesterday, so it's weird that I was bluer. Anyway, what are we doing today? No idea. I'm just going to fix some random things in the game. We yesterday updated to the async stuff, and I'm just going to fix some random things. That's it. You want to save your workspace configuration as a file? Hold on. Cargo run. The project you have wrapped up. Is the project was your bot, right, for Twitch? Not the bot, just the viewer of the bot, I guess. Is what it was. Okay, so we have the game. I see some issues here, by the way. Um, Discord, but yes. Oh, it was Discord. Okay. Okay. How's this project going? Oh, it's going pretty well, although I didn't update it in a while. So let's see. What's the goal, Davey? Maybe we need to do something specific. So the last thing that we did here is this level selection screen, where we can have multiple stages, and every stage consists of different levels. Like this. So I can go into a specific level. And start playing it. Okay. I see that the button to reset is broken. That is weird. Why would it be broken? So we are doing index out of bounds. Length is 6, but the index is 6. Huh? I'm flooring the playback position. Let me see. Playback position. if target position is equal, hold on. So target position is the I wonder how this got broken. Let's review this code. This is our a rewinding code. So we have a history of game states, and in between every game state we have the moves that happened during the transition from the previous to the next game state. So the list of states is the VEC that is one item longer than the moves, because moves is transition between the states. So like initially we only have one state and no transitions, no moves. Which, I mean, it makes sense that the moves are not there if we are Kimalunal. Good morning. Thank you for the sub. If target position is equal to playback position. So target position. Wait, hold on. Let me understand the logic here. You need to upgrade your tier. What does that mean? The tier of the subscription? That doesn't give you anything though, right? Does it? Or does it? I mean, I can make some emotes that are only available to higher tier subscription, but I don't know. I just need that tier to be higher, right? Okay. Gift sub is better. I think if you are talking about just supporting the channel, then I'm not sure which one is better. Because I think the only thing that can happen is that we can get more emote slots. So right now we have 2 animated emotes, and we can have more. Yesterday I had to leave because I got a call. What was the stream yesterday? Yesterday we did the transition of the engine into the async stuff, which is hopefully going to make it easier for us to work on the game. But it doesn't really matter too much, I think, generally. So it was nice, but it looks like we broke some things in the game. So my rewinding doesn't work anymore. Like if I go back here, then I crash. And this is not supposed to happen. This is a self-contained module that is not supposed to crash at all. So there is a bug in logic here somewhere. Like I was saying, we are literally saving the entire history of the game, and we're being able to rewind to a specific position in history and show that thing. That's it. This is not supposed to crash at all. So let me see, what are the invariants here? We have the target position. Target position is the position that we are rewinding to, which is is there a problem in go back function? I think the problem is in some of the invariants gets broken here. So let's see what we have in this like this is called player, but this maybe should be called differently. This is like the I mean, it is like the player, but not in terms of a game player. It's like a video player, you know, where you can rewind the video. So that's why it's called player. We have the list of states. So like what was the game state in the very beginning and what is the current game state, and everything in between is all saved. Moves is the transitions between the states, so what exactly happened, how were we moving, what we were doing a regular move, or were we falling down, were we sliding, everything like that. Target position is the position that we're rewinding to. This is a specific index of the turn. Playback position is a floating point number because we can do anywhere in between the turns. That's how we draw the animation, right? So inside of the game state, the player, the cube, does not really turn around slowly. It goes to the next state immediately, and then the animation is just basically fake, because we know the previous state, the next state, and then we interpolate in between. Yeah. Animation time. I don't remember what this is. Oh, animation time is just the time to animate one frame. One tick. One tick of game logic, basically. It's just a configuration option. Let me put a comment here so that I remember it later. Time to animate one game tick. Alright. Auto continue is a boolean, which means that if we are at the end of the history, then we are going to continue like calculating the logic and processing the turns automatically. Because if we don't do this automatically, then this is only going to happen as calculating the next turn if we press a button. Before looking for the solution, how can we debug that bug? Well, we know where the bug is happening, right? It's over here. We need to understand why what our player back position is exactly, and why is it so. Like there's an invariant that is broken. If you're talking about like actual debugging, I like doing a breakpoint here. That's something that we can do, but I don't do that usually. It's pretty simple, the bug here. Anyway, it's just the playback position is like in an invalid state. It's the playback position is beyond the end of the history. Is the problem here. So we just need to understand how that happened. And since this happened over time, I'm not even sure if breakpoint debugging is going to help us at all. This code is very small, it's just 150 lines. So yeah. Playback position basically is a floating point number that should be always less than or equal to the last frame. The last frame index is the state's length minus 1, right? Because the last index is the length of the vector minus 1, so it should be no more than that. What if we block the user if he wants to go back according to game history? What do you mean if we block? Well, I guess, okay, fine. Let's go. So I want to do a debug here, but this is going to not always work. So this only works on the undo. Let's see what happens on the undo. That's what we pressed, right? We changed our target position to be like one frame before. and we only find the stable position. Okay. That makes sense. So we literally just change the target position. It should not matter which target position we are going to. But it is, yeah, it is just changed in the backward direction. Like, cannot go back. Well, the user should be able to go back. We should not be crashing here. Why would we block the user? The button to undo exists on purpose, so that the player can undo the turn. Or reset to the very beginning also. Because this is a puzzle game, and having an undo button is really good to have. Okay, so let's say that we changed our target position to be something else. Then when we do the update, we say that our playback position is not equal to the target position, so we calculate the speed of us doing the transition. Change is equal to speed multiplied by delta time. If change is more, then the absolute difference. So we want to go to the target position, and we are currently at the playback position, right? So this is the difference, right? This is us calculating the change in one frame. If the change is more than the difference, then we just say that playback position is equal to the target position. Otherwise, we just add the change. Okay, makes sense. And then we do the new position. Is going to be equal to playback position floor. So this is yeah, the previous position, the new position. So this means this new position is equal to previous position plus 1. This means that we went from the previous frame, we finished the animation for the previous frame, and we are now into the next frame. Which means that, yeah, we literally just finished the move, okay? If auto continue is false, means we are rewinding. So we only want to have this update. We only want to know that we have finished the turn if we are not rewinding, if we are actually playing the game. Because this is used to do the sounds. So when you are finishing the turn, there might be some sounds that needs to be played. That's why this. So this logic does not actually break anything in terms of rewinding. That's completely different. Okay, so. Well, I think I see what the problem is. So the animation. So yeah, the reason that it was broken is before we were doing update before the rendering, and now we're doing rendering before the update, and it should not matter at all, the order, but that is just revealing the bug in that logic. So let's see over here. Basically, the target position is not equal to playback position, which means that we're doing some animation, right? But our playback position is currently at the end of the history, right? So the this playback position floor is the index of the state that is previous, and the next state is this index plus 1, but the animation can only be shown if the index plus 1 even exists. So we just need to do this if the next position exists. And we also don't do any animation if so if target position is equal to this, or if playback position is more than or equal. Well, I mean, it can only be equal, but more than or equals self states, or rather self moves length, just like that. This means that we are at the end of the playback. End of history. This means end of history. Wait, can I not make it the end? End of history is this. And this means that we are we have rewinded to the target position successfully. Okay, this should fix the bug. Okay, so we have the undo, we have redo, and we have rewind to the very beginning, and it all works now again. Okay, nice. Fix story panic at the end. Is it possible to finish the demo in 10 days? I mean, if we just work on the thing, then yes, I think it is possible. If we just focus on the priority things. But we also go GMTK. Oh. Okay. Well, then it means that we need to finish it in 12 days because GMTK is 2 days, right? 7, 8 days left. Well, GMTK is 2 days, so 2 days are going to be spent on GMTK then, right? So you add 2 days to the thing. Okay, this starts in 3 days and 10 hours. Okay. We're still unsure if we're going to participate, but probably we will. Probably we will. Okay, what is next? What is next? I see the visual bug. I see the visual bug over here. Do you see it? When the tiles connect, I see the texture bleeding through the texture edges. I think I want to fix that. So how do I fix the texture bleeding? How do people usually fix that? So I can just add epsilon to the texture coordinates, but texture bleeding a tile map. Methods to prevent texture bleeding for tile maps. Let's see. So if we look at the shader here, right? The texture coordinates is something that I would just say. Does adding a 1 pixel spacing between tiles work? Not really, because what is the spacing in between the tiles? Like if you continue the tile with the same color in all the directions, then yes, it will fix it. But I think I can do something inside the shader also. Although, should I? Also is the question. So let's say, have you seen the video? Have you seen the video? Adding, hold on, texture. Where is it? Maybe we go to Discord. Because I have linked it somewhere, right? I always forget what is the title of the video. This smooth pixel art. Make this shader bleed the same color on the edge. Yes. That's one way, but have you seen this thing? So, because we also, in our game, have rotating pixels, right? Especially when the player itself is moving. And sometimes we scale the stuff. I think we might use this technique over here. This is a 12-minute long video, but this does not fix the texture bleeding. It fixes the weirdness when you do the pixelated, the nearest filter on the textures, but you also scale the texture, because our game is not pixel perfect in terms of like screen coordinates, right? So in order for it to look better, we want to basically calculate pixel anti-aliasing. Look over here at this thing. So usually you do the nearest neighbor. That's what we are doing right now. And as you can see over here, it produces this little bug, this little artifact that you can see on your monitor, right? Because we only select the pixel that is closest, right? But what we want to do instead is to do a little bit of interpolation when we are in between the pixels, right? So this is going to fix it for the rotated pixels and scaled, yeah, basically everything that we want. But if we use this technique, then the texture bleeding and at the edges of the tile map is going to, it's going to mean that it's going to mean that I need to interpolate when we're at the edge of the thing. Let me try doing something. Open Linksider assets. Tiles. Wait, what? God. Did I open it in my Firefox instead? And now I closed my Twitch chat because of that. How do I open the file here? Open. Open projects, Linksider. This thing, okay. So I think what we can do, I can do it programmatically. So that you don't need to fix anything. Wait, is this new? Is this new? These pixels over here? These blue pixels over here? I don't remember seeing those before. No? Has always been there? Okay. Maybe I forgot about it. Okay, let's say that we are at the edge of this tile, right? So what is when we are rendering a pixel that is partially covered by this tile, but partially covered by the adjacent tile, then what should be rendered in this position, right? We should just render this color, right? Which means that I think I just want to continue this texture 1 pixel out with the same color. And the corner color is going to be also expanded like that. So we want to update the texture where every tile is expanded like that on 1 pixel outside, so that when we are at the edge, it's going to be properly sampled. Right? I can do this programmatically though. Or can I do this just inside the shader? And that's why I remembered about this one, because this technique does not use the nearest neighbor. So there are two options basically that I see here. Either I create the new texture which has this extension of the pixels, or I do the clamping. Which one should I actually do? Also, it's interesting because shader maybe. It's interesting. We don't have it in the game, but let's say that we are zooming out very far away. When you're zooming out, your pixel is going to be covered by multiple basically pixels inside the thing. And what you want to do usually, as you can see Aseprite doing it here, it is not just choosing the nearest pixel anymore, but it is calculating the coverage. So also doing a little bit. And so usually what we use for that is the MIP mapping. I think we should not think about that though in the game. Only about the zoomed in. Inside the shader, okay. Okay, I think this is two different things. The pixel anti-aliasing, like in this video, and the clamping of the texture coordinates. I'm just saying that, look at this. In order to do pixel anti-aliasing, we use the regular bilinear thing. So when we are at the edge between the two pixels, where we want to sample that, it's going to be the color in between those two colors. Right? It's just the center of the pixels that are going to be exactly the same. So when combining these two approaches, I just feel like oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I think it still will be possible to clamp. We will just need to clamp not to the edge, but to the centers of the pixels at the edge. Which means that clamping of the texture coordinates are going to be a little different. Okay. Let me try doing something here. So in order to clamp, we need to know where to clamp the texture coordinates. So here we are calculating the actual texture coordinate, right? Right. And this thing should be clamped. When we sample the texture. But what should it be clamped to is a question. So in order to do that, we need to have this information inside the fragment shader, is that right? Or can I do the calculation just in the vertex shader? Are you good with shaders, Davey? Have you ever done your own shaders? So technically, we want, in terms of performance, to calculate as much stuff as we want inside the vertex shader. Because fragment shader is the program basically that runs for every pixel on the screen, and vertex shader is a program that runs for every vertex, right? So in order to draw a tile, we do 4 vertices. So we calculate the position of the vertex on the screen by doing that, multiplying some matrices and stuff, right? And then we do the varying things. These things are going to be interpolated linearly for every pixel, and for every pixel we call this function to calculate the color of the pixel, basically. You know nothing about the shader. Well, now you know more about it. It's just a program. Hello, Icy. How are you doing? Icy, are you going to participate in the GMTK? We were thinking about it yesterday, and we remembered about the close to line the game. We want to do something similar to that. Because I don't want to spend too much time on the GMTK this time. I want to do something simple and not think about it too much. Oh my god, what? Hello, Moscow. You thought this was C? No, 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 no. Because you see the void keyword? Do code golfing then? That's what Coastline was about. Yeah, GLSL is basically C. Not even WGSL, yeah, it is, yeah. I mean, technically, I support more than WGPU because they don't support WebGL1. That's what my engine is working on. They support more devices than they do, I think. I do plan to transition sometime, but when I started it, the WGPU was not even a thing. So yeah. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to fix the texture bleeding when drawing the tile maps, and also at the same time, I'm thinking about this thing. Have you seen this video? When doing pixel art, and you do the rotated pixel art in 3D space, it has some weirdness going to it that can be fixed by doing some shader magic, as shown in this video.
Texture aliasing is usually mitigated by some combination of bilinear sampling, mip-mapping, and
Or like LGPU. uh, it's funny. Okay. So yeah, there are two things that I want to fix: the texture bleeding and this thing, because we are doing the rotating pixels in our game too. So first, I need to fix the texture bleeding, for which I just need to clamp the texture coordinates, and I will need to clamp them to the pixels that are on the edge, right? Let me see. I think I'm going to rotating pixel is the new era of pixel art. I like how people are creating some of the most portable, well-designed APIs ever, due to the web being a thing, and people wanting to run shit that isn't supposed to go in browsers using browsers. Yeah. Is there a WebRTC thing for native though? Because I was looking into that before. I'm using WebSockets right now for my multiplayer things. So WebSocket is something that I can use in like native stuff. I was looking for a Rust crate to do WebRTC so that I can have like unreliable and faster networking, but yeah, there is nothing about WebRTC that's specific to the web. Yes, but the existence of the libraries is like there is protocol specification, right? But there are no libraries that implement that specification, I think. At least last time I looked at it, I couldn't find something that I could just use. There are. Let's see. Crates.io, WebRTC. That what is that how we do it? A pure Rust implementation of the WebRTC API 14 days ago. So the last time I was looking at it, it was not 14 days ago, you know. So maybe this is just a new thing. Let's see. Is this a new thing? How do I see when this was created? 3,000 commits. We just go to the very end. Older. 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 I mean, was this created in 2022 or was this earlier than that? I don't remember what was the last time I was looking at this. How do I see the last commit? Or how do I see when the repository was created? Let's see the history for this file. Okay, 2019, I think. Well, this is later than I started my stuff, so I don't remember when exactly I was looking at this. It supports the data channels, yeah. I don't remember when I was looking at this. I'm thinking about that time, actually. About that time. But maybe not. So I started this engine when, like, in 2016, I think. I'm not sure when exactly I added the multiplayer part. But yeah. Okay, it's good to know that there is one more thing that I need to look into now. Although I'm okay with working on top of WebSockets for now. So what the data channels are going to give me is just like faster and the because of the unreliable protocols, because it's on top of the UDP, right? It's going to be better for real-time multiplayer games. Okay, anyway, we were doing the fixing of the texture bleeding for the tile maps. Let me show you the issue. You just joined. Here you go. You can see it over here. When the two tiles connect to each other, we sample from the nearest pixel, but the texture coordinates are not clamped, so we sample from the neighboring tile on this tile map, which leads to this artifact that we need to fix. So I currently think that I need to clamp the texture coordinate here to be... by the way, why do I call this VT if should be called UV? From some place, I have started called my texture coordinates VT instead of UV. Who does that? I think it's the OBG file format that called them the VT for some reason. Okay. So I want to clamp this. What happened to NeoVim? I don't know. It's just Rust Analyzer doesn't work well in it, I think. There is also the thing that over here, as you can see, I have opened two projects at the same time, the engine and the thing, and that's not how it works in NeoVim. In NeoVim, you cannot do that. You need to open two NeoVims to work like that. And also the multi-cursor, like I was saying, is something that I can do in VS Code and I cannot do in NeoVim. Those are the three things. Mainly it's about the Rust Analyzer though. I don't know, it was doing very weird stuff. Maybe my configuration is wrong. But for you it's model editing, you hate it? What is model editing? Oh, like in terms of modes? I don't really hate it. I don't care much if it's like mouse based, if it's keyboard based. I don't care much. It's all the same to me. Normal mode, insert mode, yeah. I can see that someone can hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't care. I don't think it's like matters at all. Helix has multi-cursor though, yes. But I guess if someone hates the model editing, then they are not going to like Helix either. I think like the next time I feel like trying something new, I will try Helix. But they don't have the GUI with fancy animations. Like over here, look at this. I have particles when I type. This is also something that I don't have in NeoVim, which is why Neo VS Code is better. Okay, we need to clamp the texture coordinates, like I was saying, but in order to clamp them, we need to know where to clamp them to. So the rectangle that we need to clamp the texture coordinates to. It needs to be known here, so we need a uniform. I just wish it was an electron memory hog. Yeah, I guess. But to be honest, when I was working briefly in NeoVim, my NeoVim was consuming more memory than VS Code. That is a fact. I'm not sure exactly what was happening, but I have 32 gigs of RAM on this PC, and I went to 0 when I was using NeoVim. I'm not exactly sure like what was happening there, but the only time that I got even close to 0 free RAM on this PC was when I was using Vim. I wasn't using NeoVim though. No, I was. If you are talking about the NeoVide and you think that NeoVide was the thing that was consuming that much memory, then no, that's not true. That's not true. It happened to me in Terminal NeoVim 2. Model editing was annoying for you until you changed the default escape keybind for normal mode. Escape keybind for normal mode. I also, when I was doing the Vim, I don't do escape to go from insert mode to normal mode. I'm using Control C instead because escape is very far away, right? Control C is just faster to do. I think in Helix you only have escape though, unless you don't have this issue. I was having an issue with tab 9, but that wasn't NeoVim's fault. Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's not just NeoVim. Like I was saying, I'm using NeoVim with plugins because without plugins, I don't think it's very usable. I followed some very popular things to do my configuration. I think it's because of the Rust Analyzer. It was like spinning like 10 different versions of the Rust Analyzer, and every single instance of Rust Analyzer was using 10 gigs of RAM, so that's how I went to 0 RAM. I think that's what happened, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, the issue is with the Rust Analyzer inside NeoVim for some reason. Use Control Q instead, because Control C closes pop-ups one by one, which is annoying. What pop-ups are you talking about? You have pop-ups in your Vim? The only pop-up is like the Rust Analyzer, autocomplete docs. I don't know what exactly they're talking about, like here? Like signature help? This is just closed automatically for me when I just go left and right. I can go inside this window if I want to, and then I just press Q to go back. I don't know, maybe it just works differently in Helix. By default, at least. Alright, we have been staring at this code for a while now. I need to be clamping. So, in order to clamp, we need a uniform. We need a uniform that we do the clamping with, right? So it is a rectangle. So rectangle can be represented with 2 points, right? Wait, hold on. It's actually... I cannot make it a uniform because we're constructing a mesh for the entire thing just once to do a one draw call. So instead of it being a uniform, it's probably going to be an attribute still. So this is the texture coordinate of the specific vertex, but even for a specific vertex, I still want to know the entire tile texture. A rectangle, so tile, rect, tile, UV, there's no such thing as a rect though here, so how do we do it? We do two things, which is the bottom left and top right. Right, so these are the attributes that are going here. So they are basically constant for every tile. And we're going to clamp the UV to these things. Let me see. GLSL clamp. It's just the value minimum and maximum, and I can clamp to the vector, right? I'm pretty sure that I can just do clamp UV. This is a two-dimensional vector, so I can clamp to the tile UV bottom left. This is the minimum value, so we clamp both X and Y at the same time, and top right. You can simply extrude border of your tiles in texture with same color to fix wrong texture samples. Yes, I know that I was saying that in the very beginning. That's what we were I was explaining originally, but I think I want to do it in shader instead. And also, like I was saying, this video describes how to do a filter to fix the aliasing of the pixels when you have rotated pixel art, like when you do pixel art in 3D space, for example. That is another issue that can be fixed inside the shaders. So since we are going to do shaders anyway, and also I just like if we do the extrusions of the borders with the same color inside this thing, then it either needs to be done manually or it needs to be done programmatically. I would like to do programmatically instead, but I mean, it just doesn't matter at this point, does it? I guess it matters for the performance if I do more complex logic here. Then it's going to be slower than if we do it once by extruding the border. So maybe you are actually right, and that's what should be done. I'm just wondering, how do we combine that with this approach? Does this approach... I don't remember this video exactly. Do they do the MIP mapping also? Does the MIP mapping also work over here? Yeah, I think they do it.
Doesn't work reliably. To fix this, we just need to switch the sampling function to one that explicitly passes in the original UV's deformation.
Whatever. When you do that in shader, you would need to reset uniforms for each tile, which sounds not good. Well, yeah, that is why I'm not doing the uniform. I'm instead doing the attribute. So for every tile, for all of the 4 corners, I will do a fake uniform, which is going to be an attribute. So I'm not going to reset the uniform for every tile, and we're going to do one draw call anyway. So the only downside for this doing this in the shader is going to be the fact that the fragment shader is now more complex than just sampling the texture. We're also doing the clamping here, and I don't know, also a little more of video RAM usage because of this additional 4 floats for every vertex, basically. Let me try the shader approach first, and then it just doesn't matter, I think, too much which method we use. So we generate the mesh. And we have the tile set position. And then inside the renderer, who is doing the texture coordinate? I don't remember. Generate mesh. This function is called inside the link slider. Okay, over here. Let's see. So for every tile, we calculate the UV. This is a bounding box of floating point numbers. Yes. So this is exactly it. Then we do a textured vertex. For the aliasing thing, I've implemented this before. I know if this is the same approach. Well, there are multiple approaches. Yes. Oh wait, you did an article? Okay, let's see. What is this? Not yours? Okay. Oh, is this also for rotating pixels? This article is an extension to the previous discussed topic, how to perform large texture magnification for pixelation gain without aliasing between texels. My first pause described a method to achieve this. Standard derivatives. Is this the exact same method? This looks close. I think the video, this one, is based on some other article. This was done 1 month ago, and it looks very similar. If you're interested, look at this. But yeah, it looks the same. They don't explain it too much here, though, I think. I mean, I just don't want to read it. Reading is hard. That's not the issue with the texture bleeding though. So I want to do that at some point, but first I want to fix the texture bleeding. So I need the level mesh. We're going to have the vertex here. Struct a vertex. Drive tile set vertex. Okay, we're going to have the UV position. Color, I don't need color, which means that I'm going to remove the color from the shader too. I was previously able to color every vertex, but I was not using that, so I can re-add that later if I want to. So yeah, all of the attributes that we have is this and that. And also these things. So we need to calculate the tile UV bottom left. That stuff. Tile set vertex. So instead of mapping here, I'm going to map over here, because over here I have the access to the UV rectangle. So we are going to do UV tile UV bottom left is going to be equal to UV bottom left, and tile UV top right is UV top right, like that. So that's all that we need, and now we're passing it to the shader. This is not going to change anything yet, I think, because we need to clamp to the actual centers of the pixels on the edge. Assignment to read only variable. Wait, what? Oh, it's not attribute. Yeah, this should be varying here. Looks like the same thing as the video, but less magic numbers, because they add something on top in the video. They fixed some more things, I think. If I don't remember when I was looking this video, they were referencing some other article. Okay, so as we can see, we don't see anything anymore. So why is that? If I don't clamp, did I break something else? I broke something else. Okay, hold on. It's not the clamping that is the issue here. I forgot to like set something. Let me see, level mesh. So I have generated this. Let's say this I did not change at all. I just added 2 new attributes to every vertex, right? And level mesh is being rendered. Draw mesh. We're using this shader for sure. So what did I forget? Let's draw white color to see. Yeah, so the texture, the coordinates of the everything is right. It's just sampling of the texture. If I do this, then it's also going to be okay. The colors, so the texture, um, texturing is weird. Nothing should have changed. Wait, what? Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. Actually, if we go into the first level, then we see the level match. It's just the entities that are being drawn incorrectly. So yeah. I will still see the bleeding, though. Let me just fix that. It's because, yeah. So the one problem with the shaders that I'm doing right now, they're not being type checked, so that's where WGPU would be better, I guess. So I'm using the same shader with a different texture definition. The different vertex definition. Textured vertex. When am I using this? Um, I'll set vertex, I guess. Is what needs to be done. In all the places. So this is over here. Oh yeah. Also, I guess technically we could have texture bleeding when doing the animation of the sprite sheet. So this is also something that I'm going to fix here. Wait, what was here before? If cell flip. If cell flip, then 1 minus x. Otherwise x. Okay. So this should be done, and now we just do UV bottom left is UVB bottom left, top right, right. Okay. Okay, now I need to fix some errors. Let's see, create grid mesh. What is this function? This is for doing the grid. I see. So for the grid we are using the white texture, so the texture coordinates don't matter at all. Go to this. Clone is not implemented. Let's implement the clone. Color. Okay, this is create mesh. For the UV, this is a bounding box. Okay. Okay, is that it? Unused import auto tile set. Okay. Also remove all the warnings. Okay. It's going to be done now, I think. Okay, so yeah, the texture bleeding is still there because I'm not because I'm clamping to not the correct thing yet. So what we need to do is to clamp the texture coordinates. Yes. This is still not going to fix it, is it? Yes, this should not fix it still. All right. So we want to basically clamp to the centers, like I was saying, because when we're sampling the texture, we want to clamp not to the very edge, because on the very edge between the two pixels, it's either left pixel or right pixel, right? So in order to have it consistent, we want to clamp the texture coordinate to the center of the border pixels. So we need to add to the bottom left 0.5 divided by texture size, I think. and from the top right we subtract 0.5 to make it as center of the pixel divided by texture size. Do we have texture size or no? I don't think we have it. Unless I did some magic to pass the texture sizes automatically, I don't even remember. I think I did not. So, when I'm rendering, over here I'm going to do texture size is texture size. As a floating point number. Can I calculate the texture size from inside GLSL without passing it as a uniform? I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Is the texture bleeding fixed now? Does anyone see any artifacts? I don't think I see any issues anymore. Okay, so basically I fixed it. Yeah, I think it looks good. Like, I mean, technically, this mechanic. By the way, where do you use this? Do you make games, Vesdev? I didn't see your game yet. Did I? Oh wait, actually I did, right? We played your game literally. But you said, but your game that we played, it was not made in Rust. Did you use this technique in the other game? I remember your game, right? It was some rhythm game where you mined also some resources, right? Okay, technically, like, do we need this? Do we need this? I'm wondering if I'm going to even see the difference. The rotation, even although we have it, it's pretty fast, so it's not enough time for me to see the problem. And also maybe my resolution is so high that I don't see it. Just help somebody else with it. Okay. Like, do you see the issue that my game, our game here that has pixel art is not pixel perfect? Actually, I think we need to maybe render to a lower resolution for this to be obvious. What if I move this window to the other monitor? It's going to be easier for me to see. I think I see it. You know what? Only really worth for 2D sprites and in 3D and rotated. No, I have seen people that so like because our pixels in the game are not one-to-one to the screen, it means that there are some bugs. And I don't know if you can see it, but we have a smooth camera, right? And when the camera is moving very, very slowly, I can see the game world moving pixel by pixel, and this is a little annoying. You know, so like when the camera is slowly moving, I see a single pixel moving, and basically 1 pixel in terms of the tile set, in terms of texture, is going to be sometimes 1 pixel bigger, sometimes 1 pixel slower. I actually see it. You need to really look for it though to see, but I actually do see it. And I see it even better on the other monitor, which is not 2K resolution. which is just Full HD. So yeah, it is visible for the camera movement at least. Because I have seen other people who are doing not 3D and not rotated, but still used this technique just for resampling from one pixel size to the other pixel size. Because otherwise, a lot of the games that are pixel art are based on pixel art. They try to make it so that they are pixel perfect for the screen. Rust is a language or engine? Rust is a language. Programming language, yes. A game. I never played Rust the game. The engine is called Gang that we're using. We have our own custom engine written in Rust. Okay, fix texture bleeding. This is done. I think I want to try, because we are just touching this topic anyway. Let's just try it. As far as I understand, all I really need to do is I need to go to the end of this video. Where is it? Where is the code? Show me the code.
At any box average, where a trans by having works expressed interest expanding on relevant items. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Where is the code? Typically you scale the camera and make the window only scale by integers. Yes, exactly. So that's what people usually do for pixel art games. You only have your pixel, 1 pixel in terms of screen coordinates, or 2 pixels or 3 pixels. But I want it to be independent of that, which is why I want to actually do the resampling, which is why this should be still useful for us. Where's the code? Is this the code? Oh yeah, and then for the transparency, by the way, we need to also, if we do this technique, I need to also migrate to the pre-multiplied alpha. That's something that I don't do yet. Because if we do like interpolation between the non-transparent and the transparent pixel, it's going to be weird unless we use pre-multiplied colors. Final shader. Okay, so there you go. There you go. They have something like text 2D grad. What is this? Is this the texture function in GLSL? Which shading language is that? I'm not sure. I think... I don't know. I only use GLSL, so I'm not even sure.
Next, since
But maybe this is the HLSL? Because that's the only other high-level language, right? Or is there more? Like the one that DirectX is using. Is this what it's looking like? Let's search text 2D grad. Win32 apps. HLSL. Yes, it is HLSL. Samples the 2D texture using a gradient to select the MIP level. So yeah, this is the texture function. Alright, let's just copy paste this code. That's what we do. Copy pasting. Nice. Alright. I want to move this into the engine actually, but for now, I'm just going to make it here. So we're going to do VAC4, fancy texture sampling, right? Okay. Back to UV. So what we do is first Wait, what is this? Main text, textile size ZW. What is ZW? Hold on. F width is something that we have. Clamp is something that we have. Box filter size in textile units. Textile is like pixels, right? So main text textile size, which means that we need the texture size here too. Texture size. I want to do snake case. All right. Let me put the link to this video here. ZW is the last two components of the vec4. But I don't understand. So the question is then, what is the textile size? Why are we taking the ZW? Oh, so the... Wait. No. Textile size. So is textile size for the main texture a 4-dimensional vector? Textile size HLSL. What's the meaning on Unity forms? Uniform float for main text textile size. Where's the value comes from? It's set by the application if it's present in the shader. It is the size of the texture of the textile of the texture in question. In other words, if it's a 1 by 1k, both x and y will be 1 divided. Okay, I understand what a textile size is, but why is it a 4-dimensional vector? That's what I don't understand. Why is it not a 2-dimensional vector? Vector 4. Oh, so it's vector 4, 1 divided by width, 1 divided by height, and width height. Is that right? So ZW is width and height of the texture. So textile size, the variable, contains both the size of 1 pixel in terms of texture coordinates and the texture size itself. So since I have the texture size to calculate the x and y of this, I can just divide 1 by this. All right. Okay, fine. Box filter size in textile units. Back to box size. Clamp. F width. Data UV is just UV. And we multiply this by... Okay, so the UV... Yeah, we multiply the UV by texture size. It makes sense. It makes sense. So this is basically the texture coordinate in pixels. And we calculate the size of the box filter. We clamp it to be at least something, right? At least epsilon, and a maximum of 1. So we don't sample more than 1 pixel. So that's why we can still use MIP mapping, I guess. Doesn't... I also need to do 1.0, otherwise my GLSL is not going to compile. Scale UV by texture size to get pixel coordinate. Let's see. Tx is UV multiplied by texture size. Minus 0.5 by size. So what does this mean? Hold on. Scale UV by texture size. To get textile coordinate. Why do I subtract 0.5 by box size? Should I not just multiply? Why am I subtracting the box size here? Because this is the lower left coordinate? Or what? I'm not sure yet. Compute offset for pixel sized box. Filter. The X offset. Saturate. What is saturate? Is saturate a function? I never heard about this. Saturate. Frac. Is frac fract in GLSL? I think we have fract in GLSL. Minus 1.0 minus box size divided by box size. What is a saturate? It's just ultra fast clamp to 0.1. Okay. Is it available in GLSL? Saturate question mark GLSL. Is there any saturate function in GLSL? Sure, you are looking at GLSL example. GLSL is just clamp from 0 to 1. So there is no ultra fast way to do it in GLSL. We just clamp manually from 0 to 1. Because there is no such thing in GLSL. Compute a linear sample UV coordinate. Float UV. Well, I cannot shadow variables in GLSL, right? I'm used to Rust enabling this, but let's call this data UV. Fine, UV. It's not float 2, it's back to floor. Yeah, plus 0.5 plus dx offset multiplied by. So over here we multiply by textile size xy, which means that we divide by texture size instead. Maybe choose native saturate when encounters clamp 0 to 1, but probably not. Yeah, maybe it's probably dependent on the driver. Maybe some drivers see that the clamp is being called by 0, 1 and then they optimize it. It's the job of the optimizer. Yes. Sample the texture. I don't think that expression can go above 1, because divide anyway. So could you use max instead? Hold on. I understood the box size, but over here I started losing it because I like. Can you explain me why are we subtracting 0.5 by box size? Because look at what this comment says: scale UV by texture size to get textile coordinate. So scaling by texture size means that we just need to multiply the UV by texture size, right? Who and why? Like this comment does not correspond to this line because like why am I subtracting 0.5 by box size? Can you explain me why are we doing this? Is this me calculating the lower left of the box filters coordinates? Matkop, привет. Did you use Google Translate to write that? It's more getting center of the texture. Oh, sorry. So as far as I understand, in order to we are basically calculating the color by calculating the box that we need to sample, right? The box is centered at our UV that we have as our input, but we just configure the size of this box by using the f-width function here, which is the vector of df dx and df dy, right? So then we want to sample inside a box like that, which means that by subtracting, instead of getting the center of this box, we are getting the lower left corner of this box, I think. And offset for pixel-sized box filter is a fractional tx offset. Weird. Hold on. Compute offset for pixel-sized box filter. Offset from the nearest pixel. So fractional. So we take the lower left coordinate. We see where is it inside the pixel. We subtract minus 1 minus... Wait, what? Why am I subtracting 1 minus box size? Box size is something that is less than 1 for sure. Yes, because we clamped it already. So this is a value from 0 to 1. And this is a value from 0 to 1. Which means that... Yeah, I don't think this can be more than 1. Actually, we can use max of... I can use just max of 0 and this value. Yeah, VasDev is right, I think. The fractional part is a value from 0 to 1, right? Or how is the fractional working for negative coordinates in GLSL? Is it still positive? But anyway. Even if it's negative, it cannot go more than 1. Yeah. Okay. Max of this and 0. But what exactly does this mean? Hold on. The fractional part, the offset for pixel-sized box filter. The offset for pixel-sized box filter. So fractional is the position relative to the, like, inside the pixel, basically. And we subtract from that 1 minus box size. I don't understand what this means. Most readable shader code. Oh, there's a video that explains it, but can we understand it without watching the entire video? You have done the similar thing yourself already, right? Okay, maybe we test if this works first, and then we try to understand it. Sample the texture. Let's do sampling of the texture. Return texture 2D. Texture. No. Wait, hold on. Texture 2D gradient. I don't even have this, by the way, in my... Because I'm targeting WebGL 1, right? Or do I? Why would sample the texture using this. I don't know. Maybe we use your code instead. What VASDEF was doing here. Let's see. What is over here? We already have the GLSL. So the UV, you calculate the UVs in terms of texture coordinates, in terms of pixel coordinates, because the width and height of the texture is 32 by 64 here. And inside the fragment shader, I chose this K because it looks nice in my demo. What do you mean this K? This is alpha, not K. So df dx df dy, this is just the f width, as far as I understand, right? This is f width. You also multiply with this by 0.7. So over here, you also do the fractional part. This is x. This is basically the tx. No, okay, over here, frac tx. This is x. Clamp 0.5 divided by alpha. Oh shit. I don't understand this code either. I need to read it to understand. Over here, k by f width. Hold on, I just need to understand what is the function that I need to call here, which is text 2D grad, and what is my analogy in GLSL. I don't think I can even do that. I think I just don't pass this thing here, honestly. GLSL texture. Well, I use a 2D sampler. There's a bias. Hold on. This is the optional bias to be applied using the level of detail computation. That's like the only thing that we need, right? To calculate the load. I think we just skip it and just do the UV here. All right. Can I pass the texture here as an argument? I probably cannot call it the texture though. That's why they call it text. All right. Let's copy paste this code and instead of doing texture 2D, we do fancy texture sampling, the UV, and the texture and texture size. All right. It reintroduced the. Oh wait, we are no longer clamping. That's right, we're no longer clamping, which is why the bleeding is back. I don't see any changes though. Let me look at the other monitor. No, I don't see any Found the shader from old Discord logs. What is the Discord? Okay, we can clamp the UV, I guess, here. Clamped UV. Is this? But I don't see any difference. I think in order to actually see the difference, I want to render all of this onto a lower resolution texture and to just draw it. So we already have this kind of. This also has some parallax here. This is for the background. I think it should be called background. It's the full screen texture. Background. Well, if you share your shader, we can compare your shader with our shader. But as far as I understand, you based yours on the article that you linked on this thing. Like, I don't see any differences yet. Maybe they are actually there, but no. I still see, like, the pixel by pixel movement. In GLES, but the same thing. 666. Wait, you use a different. You use a different thing. 666. It's not the same thing. They use 07 here. Smooth text 2D. Oh, you call it smooth text 2D. I called it fancy texture sampling. Texture 2D. Standard derivatives. Yeah, okay. Text X coordinate. All right. Hold on. We might try your shader too. Maybe 666 is going to work better. In order to better see what is happening, though, I need to render everything onto the lower resolution. So maybe we go here, and when I'm doing the draw, hmm. Let me create a function that is drawing everything to the low resolution. Cannot borrow self as mutable because it also is... Alright. Like that, okay. Let me see, what am I going to do here? I'm just going to create the... the texture. So we are going to do, every pixel is going to be 10 pixels like this, for example, so that we can see it easy. So yeah, we're going to draw into the texture and then draw the texture onto the screen. And how do I draw the texture onto the screen though? That is the question. I think that's going to be enough. Let's try. So I only do this when doing the gameplay. Over here. Okay. Yeah, we do draw, and also this texture, we are going to set filter to the nearest so that we can clearly see every single pixel. Okay, so we see the pixels, and I do not see any, like, any changes at all. Right? It's just using the nearest sampling, just like before. So, like, as you can see, when the camera is moving, the pixel on the edge of the wall is sometimes disappearing, sometimes appearing, right? But we want it to be like smoothly changed, right? I think I know, actually. I think I know why. It's because filtering of the texture needs to be enabled for this technique to work at all, right? Just I need to re-enable the filtering to be a regular one. So I just comment this line out for the tile set, texture. Okay, look. So this is now actually working, right? We can clearly see the difference. So this is what it looks like when we are zoomed in, but obviously we are not going to be zoomed in this much. Even the icons are being anti-aliased basically now. So this is going to be looking good when I don't draw into a low resolution. Do I see the difference? Shit, I actually see the difference. This is actually so good. I don't know if you guys see the difference here, but like I was saying, the you can really see it when the camera is moving slowly, and like you see the pixel by pixel movement of this wall, for example. That's what I'm looking at the wall when the camera is moving slowly, and it is actually really visible, the improvement now. It is like so smooth. Very good, very good. Okay, I like it. Is it going to work on, like, everything, though, is the question. Smoother than your brain. Let's check the web build. And then the Android build. I don't think I use anything specific in these shaders, right? So what am I using, what I'm not using usually? The f-width, but we are enabling the extension that we need for the f-width function to work. Fractional is pretty much the basic function, the max, the texture, yeah. It should work no problem. Oh, I need the WASM. Shit. Need to update the binary. Do I just do nix Blake update? Why do I have some errors here? My SQLite database is busy. Who else is using Nix? Is this normal that I am that I have the errors here, but also why are the errors being ignored? Is it because I'm loading the direnv basically 2 times? One is the extension of the VS Code, which is reloading the environment, and another one is the terminal. So they work at the same time. Okay, here's the web build. In the browser. Looks like it's working. Okay. And let's check the Android. I will let it build and I will go get my phone. Okay, so it is going to compile now, but it's going to complain that I did not connect my phone yet. The extension doesn't work at all for you. You just start VS Code from terminal after Nix develop. I don't know. It actually works for me very well. I'm not sure what is wrong. I can click it to reload manually, but it just reloads automatically also. Can I pull your changes? Yes, I can. Which version of the VS Code are you using? Do you use the FHS VS Code or the regular VS Code? Maybe that's the difference. Because if you use the FHS, then maybe it's actually like that's why. I use the regular one. Oh, you use VS Code and not VS Code. So yeah. Maybe. Do they have a different set of extensions there? I just use VS Code. You don't like to be spied on? I'm okay with being spied on, I guess. Okay, let me connect my phone. ADB connect. 36037. Okay, the phone has been connected. We run the game on the Android, and we also show the phone here. Subscribing 7TV. What is 7TV? I don't know what 7TV is. It's built in the APK so long. Is it? Can it be the case that Nix makes my file system slower? Can this be the case? Because of like we were doing some overlay or something. All right. Well, I don't really see the difference on the phone because on the phone it's very. All the cool kids have it. It's like, wait, I know the better TTV. Is 7TV a different thing? I'm not using better TTV anyway. I guess I don't care that much. I can imagine the emotes that people use from better TTV. Like if you type a mega lol, I can just imagine it in my head. I don't need an extension for that, you know. All right. Well, it all works. And we can go back to and continue. Can I imagine very cat? Oh, I can guess what to imagine. I guess. I'm not sure if I want to imagine that. All right. Well, I mean, if I don't know what it is, I just Google it, right? Let me just Google it on the other monitor just in case. All right. Is this it? This is a meme that I am unfamiliar with, I think. Very good. Okay, so now I can imagine it. I just need to see it once, and then I can see it without enabling the extension. All right. Okay, everything works. This is smooth. All right. The game is now very smooth. Let's rename this to smooth texture 2D. Is that what you called it in your code too? It's like texture 2D but smooth. Can I imagine? Can I imagine? Smooth texture 2D. Hold on. Also, are we loading any other textures other than? I think I should just disable this here and disable this here. Why is this? This is why is this, bruh? I don't know. Oh, look, something is wrong with our... Oh, okay. So, our background is now wrong. Our stage 1 is now wrong. Okay, I think these things are... like, we can technically fix those things too. But you can see the black border on these things, and this is because we are not doing the... the pre-multiplied alpha. So I think in order to make this work perfectly, do you see the black borders, 1 pixel black border all over these tiles too? So that is also because of non-existence of the pre-multiplied alpha. Yeah, I didn't copy the H, bruh. No, I mean, there is the H here. I didn't copy it, but it was, it is here anyway. And I went to the page. This is the wrong version of bruh. Okay, hey bruh. Is this the correct version? Is this the correct version? That's what I'm going to enable when you type that in my chat, I guess. I'm going to assume that this is the correct version. Hmm. Okay, I think I'm going to keep this like that. So these are like different things. The only thing that I have done is for the tile set things. Yeah, so I can see the problem with this when the stage is being moved. It's not as smooth as these tiles over here. And the numbers also. I can literally see it. Do you see it? Look. Over here. This is... Like, my camera isn't even rotated. Why is this over here? I don't know. I would imagine something completely different. For this emote. Cat is W. Okay, we call smooth for tile set, not for other things yet. We need to work on the other things. And also, like I have just seen, it's very hard to see, or is it not? Very hard to see. I guess if we do the low res again, then we're going to see it. Although it's weird because I didn't see it before, actually. Oh, we're not doing low res over here. And in this thing, oh, I think you see it on the end goal. Look at this. This is supposed to be just. It sometimes has black semi-transparent pixels, so this is not supposed to happen. All of the pixels should be the same color here. Just the transparency needs to be changed. So yeah, you can see the issue on this thing when the transparency is involved. So to fix that, we need the pre-multiplied alpha. Let's do that. Can I load the texture and convert it into a pre-multiplied alpha? Using GPU or no? So the texture data needs to be converted already. So this texture over here, I want to convert this into a pre-multiplied alpha. How do I do this? Do I need to... I look very stressed. Do I? I don't think I do. Is there a quick way to convert the texture? Because when I'm doing the sampling, it is already on the like OpenGL or whoever, like the GPU is doing the interpolation between the pixels, so the pixels should be already in pre-multiplied alpha. I need a way to convert every single pixel here, basically. OpenGL, convert texture to pre-multiplied. How do people do this? Textures with alpha and linear mapping. WebGL load texture pre-multiplied. Like when I'm loading a texture, I want it to be like one of the things that I can do is that I can load the texture normally. And then draw it into another texture, which is going to have the pre-multiplied colors already. But can I do it in one step? I know how to do pre-multiplied alpha, but how do I get the texture like quickly? Do I love Rust? Yes, that's why we're using it. WebGL text image. So there is nothing about pre-multiplied here, but as one of the arguments to the pixels here in WebGL, we can do the HTML image data, right? So the image data is just the raw image data. It's not doing the pre-multiplied yet. Wait, a string indicating the color space of the image data. Is it raining outside for me now? No, it's either sRGB or display P3. Okay. So this has nothing to do with it. All right. How do people convert their textures into pre-multiplied though? And oh wait, hold on. Unpack pre-multiply alpha WebGL. Hold on. Be aware that most, if not all, Canvas 2D implementations work with pre-multiply alpha. That means that when you transfer them to WebGL and unpack pre-multiply alpha, WebGL is false. WebGL will convert them back to unpre-multiplied. Pixel store. Hold on. Handling images. By default, my default, if you are loading images with alpha into WebGL, WebGL will provide the values as they are in the PNG file with color values, not pre-multiplied. This is generally what I'm used to when OpenGL programs because it's lossless, whereas pre-multiplies is lossy. Makes sense. It is a possible value. If a possible value, wait, what? A possible value unpre-multiplied, whereas pre-multiplied is an impossible value. Because I0 means that have to be 0. You can have WebGL pre-multiply the alpha if you want. You do this by setting unpack pre-multiply alpha WebGL to true like this. Unpack pre-multiply alpha WebGL. By default, it's unpre-multiplied. Okay. How do I do this in non-WebGL? How do I do this in something else? Is it going to be done on the CPU then? So I need my image loading to have the same argument, right? Whenever I'm loading the texture, do I want to pre-multiply alpha or do I want to not pre-multiply alpha? Right? When I'm loading the textures. OpenGL. Well, I guess not. Yeah, I guess we will load the data in memory anyway. Let's take a look. So So we have the ugly. How long did it take me to learn Rust? I don't know. I read the book for like a month, I think, before I started writing any code, and then I uh, just started writing code. It was slower in the beginning, and then it became faster. I think even about a year. It started to be quicker than any other language that I used before. This emote is nice, yes. I mean, don't you have this emote in your channel? Without the 7TV though?